welcome back to my channel. My name's Alea, and this is
Jack.
And today we're going to be talking about Jackpot, which is a new movie with John Cena and Awkwafina, which we already knew what this was going to be, guys. We knew what this was going to be. And then we're obviously going to talk about Alien Romulus, which at first I wasn't initially super excited about this movie. Like, as in, like, I'm not in this franchise as much as everyone else. But it definitely exceeded my expectations. So we're going to start there. So, Jack, introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Jack. I'm into a lot of like horror movies. I'm a big Alien fan. Mostly, I'm into like comic books and just anything kind of in the nerd realm. So
cool. Yes, he's gonna get us into the Alien because you said like you really love that franchise. But first, before we get into it, we're gonna talk about Jackpot. So I made you watch this movie, and I'm so sorry.
Yes.
We're just gonna start there. I am so sorry that we watched this movie. I fell asleep 2 to 3 times trying to get it through this movie. So, what is your initial thoughts on it?
I want to say first, I'm going to have a lot more to say about Jackpot than I am about Alien. Because Alien's just, it's good. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking Jackpot. Okay, first of all, I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks like dog shit. And then at the end, it said directed by Paul Feig, which should say everything you need to know.
Yeah. I definitely looked back at his discography and I looked at all the films. I was like, oh, I should have known. He did Spy. He did like all these.
Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
Yeah. So go ahead. What do you think of it?
I love John Cena. Always good to see him, even in a shitty movie. Awkwafina, even in the best movie, I cannot stand her. I can't. I find her voice really annoying. But that's besides the point. The writing in this movie is so fucking terrible. I can't like. I wrote down a whole list of notes.
Oh, bring it out.
I have a lot to say.
Pull it out.
It's in paragraph form.
Yeah.
So I wrote a whole paragraph about like, you remember the part where the Airbnb hosts, which I have a lot to say about them to begin with, are walking into the wax museum. They're like, we haven't been here since we fucked that one wax mannequin thing. And then they walk up and Stanley from The Office is like, aren't you the two that fucked that Tin Man?
Yeah.
It's like,
these like corny millennial. I feel like it felt like millennial jokes. I was gonna say that. How do I even explain? It was very much millennial jokes, and then there was no substance. It was like they were just trying to like do little like I don't know what I'm even trying to say. It was just really bad. Let's just start there.
Well, so like on that thing though, and I feel like that kind of describes my problem with the movie as a whole. Mm-hmm. 2 people fucking a wax Tin Man is funny. That's a funny joke.
That's a funny joke. Yeah.
But it would have been funnier if it's something that you find out later on instead of like, aren't we the 2 quirked up characters who fucked that thing? And then they walk in, they're like, you're the 2 quirked up characters that fucked that thing.
Right. It could have been like a show don't tell kind of situation.
Like, thanks for just saying, okay, that's so funny.
Yeah. But first, I didn't even tell y'all what the premise of the movie is. Let's start there. So the premise of the movie is this woman comes to LA for the first or after a long time, and she doesn't know about this jackpot, which jackpot is after the Great Depression of 2026 or something like that. They're like, oh, one person is selected every year, and if you kill this person, you get their jackpot. If they survive all the way to sundown, then they win the money. And this was the biggest one of the year with $3.6 billion. And then, so John Cena is trying to protect her because I have part of this like agency or whatever. And yeah, that's the movie. So I did want to see this movie because like I love John Cena and I love Simu Liu. So I was like, okay, like maybe they can like help me get through this movie. But no, I laughed one time. Yeah.
I didn't even laugh. Okay, the other thing too on the premise, because I was watching this with a friend, and the first thing when they're like, in 2030, it's like, why do you need to? Do you already have like an otherworldly premise? Just say like, in a world where this exists. It's like,
yeah,
okay, it's 2030 now for some reason.
Right.
The movie has nothing to say. Is my biggest. It's just like, it's a schlock. Like they should have probably just gotten Amy Schumer for this. Is she canceled right now or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't have gotten people to watch it because people don't like her more than Awkwafina.
But who likes Awkwafina?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
But what else is on your list for it?
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, licensed music, which is a big pet peeve for me in movies, where like there are times for it, and then there's other ones where it just feels like, hey, I'm the director of this movie, and I got my favorite Logic song for this car chase for some fucking reason. It doesn't fit at all whenever it comes in, and it's like, I don't think the movie had a score of its own at all.
I don't think so.
It's just throwing in like any kind of licensed thing they could get their hands on, and it just got really redundant and annoying.
Yeah, it definitely like again, it gave like the millennial humor because it was a lot of like older like 2010 songs. It wasn't even like anything that was new or anything, right?
Well, so that's another thing that I like. My theory for this movie is that they wrote it 10 years ago and shelved it, and then probably for the writer's strike, they're like, oh, we have this one. Because like the other thing too is like MGK. I feel like they wanted that to be a big, oh my god, it's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, I forgot dude, this movie was so bad. I forgot that he was in the movie. When he showed up, I was like, what? Why is he here? Like, what?
The hype around him has been dead since
forever.
Like Jared Leto Joker era, like Hot Topic t-shirt kind of guy. And I feel like at the time that they wrote this movie, if my theory is correct, the director was like, oh, this is going to be a big like needle drop moment. Everyone's going to like lose it. It's Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah. Now it's like, oh, great. It's Megan Fox's annoying boyfriend.
That's what I thought.
Lose my shit.
It's like, why is he an actor? He's just like a singer, right? Like that's all he does. Like
he was a rapper, and then he got in a beef with Eminem, and he took the L so hard he tried to make punk rock after that. Like he retired rap completely, and he sucks at that too.
Gosh, yeah. And then what else happened in this movie? I can't even remember how this ended.
They get the money. And John Cena gets 30% of it. Simi Liu was a murderer.
It was just all like predictable, and like I love me a satire if they like lean into it, but it just because it like when I think of a satire, I think of Argyle. Have you seen that movie yet? That came out. I did not want to. Like no. That one I liked that one. Okay. That one was like a satire, but it was like, okay, this is just silly, but it was like it had good action, and like they had the straight man character, the funny character, and like the action made up for it. For this, it was like because everyone's an amateur, the fight scenes were like garbage. Like I just go ahead.
So that's my thing on this. They have an R rating, right? So you can do anything. Right. And they do nothing with it. Other than any time a character cusses or talks, they throw in so much cussing that it's just redundant. It's like, why the fucking fuck would you do that? And there were so many parts where I was just like groaning. I was like, you did not need to say fuck there for any reason other than the director's like.
Right.
Feels like those millennial self-help books that say like, how to fix your fucking life.
How to fix your fucking Yeah. No, that's what and the thing is, I don't remember the rules for the jackpot, but it was like, were they not able to like kill other people? Because I would have been like, if it's $3.6 billion, I'm putting my life on the line. Like I'm getting these people out of the way.
So they can kill other people. They have to kill her, but they can't use a gun, but they can use anything else.
Right. I feel like there could have been a lot more gore in this. I would have been killing other people to get to her. I would have been doing like sorry people, but it's $3.6 billion. Like I'm putting it out there. So I just they missed the ball on that.
I had another scene that I wrote a whole paragraph about, and it's when they're in MGK's panic room, and they do the really annoying buddy cop comedy thing where they're like, oh, it's the second act. You guys need to fight now. You need to have a reason to fight.
Yeah.
And they throw that shit in there. It's so annoying. And then it has like a Suicide Squad 2016 bar scene where they sit down. They're like, my mom actually abused me when I was a child.
They had that twice though. And I was like, we don't need this. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about your backstory. I don't care about say it the one time and done. But they had that sit down scene twice. And I was like, what are we doing?
You're making a shitty, redundant comedy. You know that the movie has nothing to say. And then they try to like tie in these backstories and make you care about the characters. And it just comes out of nowhere and it adds nothing to the movie. It's like, if this is supposed to make me care about them, you should have done that in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Right. Yeah. I really I'm a person where I can, excuse a movie if I'm like, oh, well, I really like this part. I could watch this part. I could watch this scene again or things like that. When I was sitting there, I was like, I'm so mad. Like that was 2 hours of my life that I couldn't get back.
I know.
Yeah. Do you have any other comments?
Let me see. Let me consult the board. I wrote Simu Liu and John Cena are both good as ever. I said it feels like a YouTube original movie.
Yeah.
Like those like YouTube Red exclusives.
Especially with like the color grading and like the camera use. It was just like, you set up the camera. It wasn't anything special with cinematography. Nothing special to this movie that I could take away from. It's just, yeah.
And the other thing too is they're trying to sell this movie on action.
Right.
In the choreography, I don't know if you like really like looked at it too closely, but it's fucking awful.
It's very like, okay, I'm moving my hand here, and now I'm moving the hand. Like, you could tell it was choreographed. It wasn't like a natural kind of fighting, yeah.
Well, there was a part where me and my friend I was watching it with, like, died laughing. And it's at the beginning when she's auditioning for Barbie, and then she wins the thing. The lady that attacks her throws a chair at her, and then falls on the floor after throwing that. She passes out.
Really?
Like, why the fuck did she just fall over? Like,
I didn't even notice that, yeah. Oh my gosh. Like... that doesn't make any sense. And then also speaking of like the fighting too, so you've never fought in your whole life, like obviously fighting is not your thing, and she's just able to take these blows.
No, she was a stunt fighter.
But remember? Like no,
I agree.
No, that's she's getting fully punched and kicked and thrown, and she's able to get up. Man, I'd be like, kill me. I'd be like, you got me, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all got me. Like, there's no way.
But like, okay, another thing where I think I paused the movie to scream at my TV was the part where the montage of like everybody coming for her, right? And the old lady on the bus is sitting at lunch, and she sits up, grabs a knife, and that could have been the scene, but she goes, "Oh, it's that lady from earlier." Grabs the knife. I'm gonna go kill this bitch. You didn't need to, like, there's a visual comedy of already, oh, it's the lady from earlier. She grabs a knife. But she just had to, like...
say something.
Say everything that's happening in the scene for me to be like, oh, that's what's happening?
Like, oh, yeah. I feel like that happened a lot throughout the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't even think of, like, a favorite moment. Like, a moment that I would be like, oh, I could rewatch this.
I like that John Cena was a Ninja Turtles fan. Because I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. And I was just like, John Cena would.
Okay, who's your favorite turtle?
That's a hard question.
Donatello. Come on.
Donnie's good. Leo or Raph?
Really?
Yeah. I like the dichotomy of them, like, both wanting to be the leader, and Raph's a hothead. Leo's, like, trying to cool him down. I like the way they, like, kind of check and balance each other.
Yeah.
But...
so I think John Cena would be Michelangelo, right? That's like the pizza one.
He's kind of a golden retriever type, despite
he's
being
Hufflepuff.
huge. Yeah. Oh,
the Hufflepuff character.
Hufflepuff line.
Yeah.
That made me so... That's how I knew a millennial wrote this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they could have consulted... They should have just thrown this movie out. But also, this is the director of all these other movies. I think he's riding off the high of Bridesmaids. Because I saw that on his discography. I was like, okay, Bridesmaids... yeah. It's good, whatever. And I feel like he probably uses that to be like, hey, like I can make a good movie, I promise. It's like, dude, it's over. You don't have it.
That's like a notorious, that's like, was it DB Weiss or whatever? Like, that's a name you see it on a movie and you're like, oh God.
I didn't know until after, because I was so mad. I was like, I want to look this up. I want to see what else you made so I can avoid it. Like,
I've been a hater for a minute. So the second I saw that, I was like, fuck me.
But you know what? I'm actually going to be honest. I did like Spy with Melissa McCarthy and Jason Statham.
I had no reason to watch that movie.
I did think that one was funny. I'll give it to them. Other than that, everything else is trash.
I saw Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy, and I was like, there's so many ways.
Part 2 is bad.
2 hours.
But yeah. So what would you rate this movie then?
I wouldn't. It's a flat 1.
A 1?
And the reason is it is a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which is, but for me, that's the worst rating that a movie can have. Because, like, a 1 through 10 is so shitty, you're going to have a good time watching it. Mm-hmm. And just that middle of the road means this movie is such a nothing burger. Yeah, You're going to sit there for 2 hours and, like, there's no strong feelings. It doesn't, like, piss me off enough to, like, give too much more thought on it or laugh at it. It was just, like, what a waste of my time. Yeah.
I guess I'll agree. Yeah, a 1. A 1. I feel like I don't even know if a 0 is even an option. I want to give it a 4 because it's like it's nothing. It's just like I will never watch this again. I don't recommend anyone watching this. It's not even like fun. Like it's just
It didn't give me anything where there was a moment where I was like, all right. The whole time, like every joke, I was like,
this is
Yeah.
Well, that's our review on Jackpot. Don't watch it, is what we're saying. Save your time. So we're going to move on now to what we're really excited about, which is Alien Romulus. Yes. So I originally wasn't going to watch this movie because so my dad made me watch Aliens 2 when I was a kid.
That's the best one, by the way.
Yeah, that's what he always says. So as a kid, he was like, we're watching this, but I don't remember it. And so they told me, I saw online that this movie was between Alien and Aliens, or Aliens, yeah. So I was like, let me watch Alien. I rewatched that one recently, and I like it. I like the simplicity of that, and I was like, okay, maybe I can get into this franchise. And then I haven't seen Aliens again, so I'm gonna watch it again after watching Aliens Romulus. But before I get into my review, let's do a recap of what this is about. So Alien Romulus is this group of young adults,
travelers, adventurers. I don't know.
Of what?
They were miners. They were workers that were like stuck in some pact, and they needed to. I don't know. A cool exposition for alien shit to happen. They needed to get on the ship from the original Alien movie to steal the cryopods so they can go on a long journey.
Because they're just trying to get to a planet with starlight, right? They're just trying to get...
Yes.
Yeah, they just want to see the sun, see some light. And it's supposed to be like in their heads, it's like a wholesome thing. Like, we're just trying to get off this horrible planet. Yeah. And then they don't know what's on this ship that they get on. So I really enjoyed myself watching this movie. I definitely want to go see it again. Did you see it in Dolby? What theater did you see it in?
No, we saw it at Flicks, which is just like standard, but they have really good food, so we always go.
Okay, you need to see it in Dolby.
I need to. I'm gonna go see it again for sure.
Yeah. It was very cinematic, and I'm not usually like a sci-fi person.
Yeah.
So again, I wasn't excited about it, but I was like, man, this is definitely giving like Star Wars, Dune vibes, like that very like. Just very intergalactic, like very big. You know what I mean? Like just like
if anything, it reminded me a lot of Blade Runner 2049. And I think it may have been the same cinematographer. I haven't confirmed that, but while I was watching, I was like, that's definitely his lighting.
Ooh,
like
really?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
But
what did you think of the movie?
Okay, so first, what you said about the original Alien, about it being like really simple. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like known for being like a masterclass in like ambient horror. And I feel like this movie does that really well.
Yeah.
Like there's very few times where they full body show the alien.
Right.
And I love that because you like never know where it is. Mm-hmm. And there's so much suspense the entire time. I really loved that.
Mm-hmm. I liked my favorite character was oh gosh, what was his name? Was it Tony? Her brother, the droid. Yeah, the android. Andy. It was Andy. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I loved him.
So I love how when he got that chip in his head and that switch, you could just see that how the actor he can do both sides. Yeah. And when he did that switch, I was like, oh, I'm totally for Andy. I was like, I love this character. Yeah, he was definitely my favorite.
Have you seen Prometheus or any of the Alien prequels?
No.
Okay. There's a character in that in the prequel trilogy that I love, and he was a lot like him. He's played by Michael Fassbender.
Oh my gosh, that's all you had to say.
You got to watch it.
I'm watching it.
But he's a synthetic like the rest of them, and he starts off kind of like Andy and goes on this journey of like gaining sentience and deeper thinking. Oh. And it kind of has an Andy arc a little bit, like him just kind of having darker thoughts, and it really reminded me of that, and I loved that because I loved his character.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you feel about this? Yeah, it takes place after Alien 1. Mm-hmm. And so how did you feel about seeing the original android come back? What did you think about that?
I was really happy to see that. Well, because I already knew, like, they had this big reveal moment, but I saw the blue shirt and the white under.
That's him. Boy. Yeah.
I have an action figure of that.
Oh,
so I
really?
was like, I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know when it took place. I wanted to know as little about this movie as possible going in, and I should have probably looked that up because I thought it was like way in the future. But no, I was really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I figured that out last minute. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't have to watch all the other ones, because there's so many of them. So,
I never looked up a trailer for this. I saw it, like the trailer in theaters, and I saw the director's name who did one of my favorite Evil Dead movies. And I was like, I'm in.
So do you feel like it had like the same tone as Evil Dead?
No.
Oh.
Well, okay.
I've never seen the movie, so.
Yeah. A lot of the same body horror which if you do watch Evil Dead 2013, it's like a lot of really horrific body horror. And like they did that so well for the chest burster scene.
Yeah. That was cool.
It's like the original was really good, but it kind of had that thing element of like it's campy. You gotta love the classic effects, but like to see that with what we have now, like just, that was horrific.
Coming out of her chest, it was like, oh my gosh, yeah. They did well with that, with all like the special effects. Yeah. Let's see. Where would you rank this with the other movies?
Okay, I'm undecided. I'm still thinking about that. I have a lot to.
Okay.
I'm gonna see it again because like Alien 2 is definitely Aliens is definitely my favorite. I love the first one for the ambient horror, and I'm trying to decide if I like this one more than the original Alien. Aliens is still my favorite. Right. That's not changing, but it does a really good job of that.
I need to watch all the other ones because I'm such a person where I'm like, I like the modern stuff. I will always put like the more modern stuff above the original. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's that's just how I am. I'm like, okay, the graphics are better, so like this was better than Alien. Like, and then also I like more going on because like I said, it was very like a simple plot. Like there had the one alien because I mean it is Alien. But yeah, I definitely I enjoyed it. I like the storyline. I wonder, people are saying that they're wanting a part 2 for this, like a Alien Romulus.
It could happen.
2?
It's possible. You know? I mean, there could have very well been a crawler or a face hugger on the ship with them when they left.
I thought, okay, so when the first woman that got like the alien on her face, when she brought in the cryopods and when she was like, oh, I'm going to open them, I'm like, there's definitely one in there. Like, that's what I thought. So I'm like, they could use that and be like, oh, she took it to that, took those pods to the planet and there's one in there. Or and they like all try to, what is it called? Inseminate, I guess, all the people on the planet. I don't know. That could be like a plot line, but yeah.
Say a lot of phallic imagery there. I mean, that's H.R. Geiger, if you know, like, the original lore between about the alien design.
Huh, no, I don't know.
Oh, basically, I mean, and this should go without saying, the face hugger is obviously a vagina. Like,
that's what I thought.
If you look at it, because you're looking at it, you're like,
I was like, that's definitely something like...
And then the alien's head is just a dick. He basically had said something to the effect, and don't quote me on this, it's just like what I, off the top of my head, that he had a nightmare about like some kind of like assault or something, like just like really graphic, phallic imagery and shit, and then just put it into a monster.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it even scarier as you see it because it's just such an uncomfortable image.
Right. Like, it was definitely, Aliens is, I'm definitely going to be able to get into this franchise because the only other franchises that I have that I'm like obsessed with is like Marvel and then Mission Impossible, and everything else I'm like, oh, they're one-offs, but I think I could definitely get into this. What did you think? So I do want to get into the ending. Yeah. Because, okay, so I was like, okay, this movie's going well, and, I thought it was going to end after she put the girl in the pod, and then she's with Andy, and then they're leaving. Yeah. And then, like, the pod, goes off, and she's fully pregnant. And me and my dad were like, oh, my gosh, this is not about to happen right now. She gives birth. Yeah. She gives birth to an alien-human hybrid. Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't know the main character's name. I wish I knew her name. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Why? Okay. Oh, it's a baby. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, it's a baby. Shoot the baby, dude. It came out of an egg. It's obviously an alien. We got it. We gotta cut it. What are we doing? And she was like, no. Like, I don't know what she was doing. But then that thing grew into like a 8-foot tall.
Yeah, I was like soy facing in the theater once. I was like, oh, yeah, like losing my shit at that.
Is that in the other movies, or is this the first time seeing that?
So it's the first time we've seen that. In Alien 3, a couple dogs got turned into xenomorphs. They're like dog aliens.
Really?
Alien 3 sucks, by the way, but that's in the movie.
Yeah.
What it looked like to me, and this is in Prometheus, the prequel. There's a thing called an engineer. Mm-hmm. Which is basically like they're an alien race that created the xenomorphs, and they look a lot like that. Like they're like 9 feet tall. They've got these like white faces. Kind of, I was looking at it like, oh, it looks like the thing from the, Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was losing my shit. I was hyped. I was that was the most fucked thing I've seen in a movie.
So it worked for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because like, at first I really liked the movie, but I was a little like, I don't know where to rank this. You know, it feels a lot like Alien 1 with a lot of the same like ambient elements. It feels like the rehash of somewhere we've already been.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that happened, I was like, we haven't been here before.
We haven't been here before, right? Yeah. No, that definitely, it got me hype. It got me excited. At first when it happened, I was like, is this going to work? Because like it, you know, when it grew into the 8-foot thing, and then I was like, okay, maybe it won't show its face, and then it'll be more like more of a hidden kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then it showed its face. I was like, okay. I was like, and then it kept going. I was like, oh no, I'm hyped for this. Like it's giving like the horror element and like hunting her down.
Yeah.
And I like the scene where she used the freeze gun.
The cryo sleep liquid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good scene. And then what was I gonna say? I don't remember. But yeah, I liked the ending. It definitely came together for me. I thought it wasn't gonna work, but it did work. Yeah.
So like you were saying about showing it,
mm-hmm.
one of my biggest pet peeves in horror movies is when they just outright show the thing you're supposed to be
right.
scared of. Because like whatever you can create in your mind is always going to be scarier. That's why I don't really like A Quiet Place that much.
Right, because A Quiet Place, the first one, it doesn't show it, right?
No, it does. Like in the first opening scene, and that's where the movie like, and that's a whole side tangent. But that was like, now I know what it looks like. It's not like, but that movie, I was like, please don't show the whole thing. It's already so scary. And then they did show. I was like, no, fuck me. All right, that's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Like you can't. I can't think of scarier shit than that.
Yeah. It was, yeah. And then speaking of like not really showing stuff, throughout the movie, even without like the actual aliens, the ship itself was like had the essence of like scary with like when things would go off, like sounds would go off, them having to raise the temperature, like the lighting. I just feel like even just being on that ship without aliens, I'd be like you said, the things that you make up in your mind make it scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt. Like, I hadn't seen a single alien yet, and I was like, this is already scary.
Yeah.
It kind of felt, if you've ever seen The Descent by Sam Raimi.
No.
Oh, okay. Worth
I know
seeing.
Sam Raimi, though.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm back on my Evil Dead shit, 'cause Sam Raimi. But he did a movie about a bunch of like like explorers in a cave, and they make contact with this like lost race.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking terrifying. Ooh. But like 3/4 of the movie, you don't even see the monster, and it's just like the story of people stuck in an uncharted cave.
Mm-hmm.
And like that kind of concept is already really scary before you add monsters.
Right. So are you a horror guy then?
Big time.
Really?
Big time.
I'm okay. So jump scares don't get me. It's more of like lurking gets me. So like it's like the hidden stuff. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
So I have to get like good recommendations. I've never gone into horror because I don't know what to expect, and that alone scares me.
I have a lot to say about it. I've seen probably every major horror movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I don't like jump scares. I think it's really cheap.
Yeah. Jump scares don't do anything.
If you really like this movie and you're willing to go slightly more, actually, it's more fucked up than this movie. Okay. Watch the Evil Dead 2013 movie from the same director. It's also Sam Raimi produced it. So
okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, you should probably watch the original Evil Dead 2, but you could, if you like newer stuff, then start with that one. Mm-hmm. The new Evil Dead that just came out last year was really good. There's a lot. There's just so much. The Descent is worth it as well. Like I'm just trying to think, like Andy.
Sam Raimi. I know that he's like the horror guy. The only things I've watched of his is Marvel stuff. So like that's all I know. The Spider-Man 2.
It's really good.
And Doctor Strange is not good. So yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's I think he's really a master of like everything that I enjoy in horror. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm big into slashers, but that's not the same kind of vibe.
I can get into slashers because they're not as scary for me.
Yeah, it's more cool for me. I like it's fucked up. I like gore in movies, like just anything like ugh, you know.
Yeah, like The Boys.
The Boys, yeah, I love The Boys.
The Boys does like horror stuff there. Not horror, but sorry, gore stuff.
Oh, okay. Recommendation. And I know you said you don't like older stuff as much, but this movie holds up 100%. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think I've seen it. No, I don't think I've seen it. No. It's good.
It's really good, but like, okay, so they know that the budget's not like super high, so they can't do like a lot of like really out there stuff. So they sell you completely on just making the movie really like palpably uncomfortable.
Okay.
And like, there's parts where you just kind of want to get out of like watching the movie. You want to like pause it for a minute. You're like, I can't look at this. This is
Oh, it's that bad?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, you should be. I think if you can handle Alien, you can probably handle it. But like,
okay, my threshold is The Boys, so that's what I always like will compare things to. Is it like, is it worse than that? Like,
well,
what
The
we've
Boys
seen
is
from The Boys?
comically gory. Like when gore happens, like, oh look, I'm covered in blood. Like this movie, like it makes you feel every bit of like, oh my god, that guy just got a fucking hook through his back, and like he's screaming.
Yeah.
Watch that movie.
Is there eyes stuff? Because I can't do stuff in the eyes. Like that lobotomy scene in The Boys when
Not that I can.
I can't do eyes.
Okay, so, obviously, like the plot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is they're like a redneck, like incest family that's like kidnapping people off the road and like preparing them to eat them.
Oh.
So a lot of the movie is like the main character being stuck in the house and watching her friends get like treated like cattle. Like they're putting them up on like meat hooks and like hanging people up and shit. And like most of the family, they're like just like the years and years of incest, they can't even form whole sentences. They're like they're kind of deformed. They're going, you know, like while they're like cutting people up, and she's just fucking screaming for her life.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch this.
It's a great movie.
Okay, I do have to ask one more question.
Yeah.
Have you seen Human Centipede?
Yes, all of them.
Oh my gosh, really? I haven't watched all of them. I haven't watched any of them because now I have so many questions. We're moving on. We're just talking about horror now, guys.
Sure.
What is that movie? Why? Like I know it, but like is it even watchable? Like
it's not for me. Okay. I love gore, I love horror movies.
Yeah.
But I hate when the whole premise of the movie is look at this thing that's really fucked up.
Right.
I'm just like, I've seen so many of these. Mm-hmm. You need to actually make the movie entertaining and like make me care about the characters. Be like, oh my god, you know. So I'm like, oh, you put a prosthetic of a bunch of people eating shit, and okay, cool.
So they show like all the poop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't watch it. It's never gonna happen. No.
Okay.
Dang.
If you like gore in horror movies, and I'm wearing the T-shirt for this movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Terrifier is probably my all-time favorite.
Okay.
It's kind of niche. I showed it to my girlfriend. She got kind of freaked out. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's a slasher movie about a clown killing a bunch of people. There's not like a deeper story, but they use that R rating. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's rated R, use the R rating. Like going back to Jackpot real quick, use the R rating. Like don't piss me off. Like
oh my god, I'll spoil one kill from that movie just to like try and give you an idea of like where it's at. So there's this part where the clown, he's a mime. He breaks in this woman's house and starts skinning her alive.
No.
And then the whole time you're watching, you're like, oh my god, just kill her already.
No.
Like it's over.
No, wait. The whole, like all of her skin?
Yes. And while she's on the floor, he walks in, laughing his ass off and dancing with a gallon of bleach and a box of salt.
And you made Kate watch that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Her watch that?
I didn't make her watch that one. That one's way worse.
No, that's so bad.
I like when they're already like, okay, you're in for a super R-rated horror movie. Let's just push the limits of what can even be shown on film.
So he throws the bleach on her and the salt.
Yeah, and she's like screaming. He's laughing his ass off. Like, just...
Oh my gosh! I feel like at some point I would start laughing, being like, "This is crazy!"
Well,
come on,
it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
like it's kind of that boys' sense of humor where like you're watching it like, "Oh my god, oh like you know, like please stop."
Like just kill her. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about like we were talking about Jackpot, whatever the fuck. You have a movie where you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you just don't.
Just make it PG-13. Just take out the curse words. It's like curse words. It's not. That's not what makes things rated R. Like I just feel like it needs to be all the other stuff. You know, like
and that's what like me and my friend were saying. Like we were going like, who is the target audience of this? Because it's a family comedy, but you've had so many like oh fuck shit that now no family's gonna enjoy this. So you're like, is it made for like 30-year-old like soy face Redditors or something. I don't even think they would enjoy that.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that's it going like with like horror and Alien. Is there anything else that in Alien that we want to talk about though? Like this movie was so good. I need to see it again. I feel like Jackpot messed me up. I watched it after Alien, like right after, and I feel like my IQ went down and I just like my memory started to get wiped. Like, you know?
Yeah. I had the opposite. I watched Jackpot first.
Yeah.
So after that experience, I was like, I need a cleanse.
Cleanse, right?
I'm trying to think of what's going on in the world of horror right now. Things are kind of moving slow. There's been a couple really good horror movies this year. Longlegs, which I didn't see, but I heard it was phenomenal. It's on my list. Mm-hmm. My favorite of the year was Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
If you've heard of that one. Mm-mm. It's kind of niche, but really good.
That one's a good one. I think that, I think it's like Blumhouse that's like gotten me out of horror. I think I tried to watch a lot of their movies because it's like to get me into horror.
Yeah.
But their movies are so bad that I'm like, I just kind of like,
you chose the worst starting point possible.
But the thing is, okay, wait, with horror too, they try to do the whole like gore and jump scares, but I'm like, okay, where's the story? It's like all these horror movies that you're telling me about, is there a story?
Yes.
Okay.
Terrifier, not so much.
Right.
The second one has a story. The first one's just for
gore's sake. Like I don't have an interest of just watching a bunch of gore happen. I'm like, I want a good story behind it.
Okay. Have you watched the Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
No, because isn't that where you go to sleep and he's in your dreams? Yeah. No, I'm trying to sleep. So
phenomenal.
No.
Phenomenal. Those are really good. The Evil Dead movies, I mean, it's a goofy Sam Raimi story, but like you care about the main character.
Right.
The Scream, no, I'm not gonna.
I've seen Scream.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. The new ones are okay.
Yeah, I've seen the two most recent ones, 5 and 6, right? Or is it 4 and 5? Was it 4 and 5? I don't know.
No, 5 and 6.
5 and 6. I've seen those two. They're forgettable movies. I can't even tell you. I know that Jack Quaid is in one of them.
Yes. And he was kind of the killer. Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then the new Scream? No, don't even.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but the behind the scenes stuff that's been coming out, it's going to be terrible. They fired Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera.
Oh, like the people that made the movie, that made it good? Like
there's a big controversy around it. They had Melissa Barrera had posted basically just like a we need a ceasefire now kind of thing about the Palestine conflict.
Oh, okay.
And they fired her like immediately.
Oh, wow.
For even saying anything about it. And then Jenna Ortega quit like 2 days later.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're reshooting the movie, bringing Sydney back again. Sydney Prescott, the original Survivor girl.
Oh, the old lady?
Yeah. No. She's been through 4 of these fucking killers.
Like,
now,
come on, dude.
Redundant.
Like, as the main woman? Like, the main actress? Yes. What? No, wrap it up.
Yeah,
wrap it up.
Can you do the same story? It feels the same way as like Taken with Liam Neeson. Like, how many times can this shit happen to the same guy?
And then also with Indiana Jones, like how they brought Harrison Ford back, and those movies didn't do good. Like both of the newer ones didn't do good because it's like just wrap it up. Stop.
And they had good momentum with 2 people that I think could have been like decent Survivor girls for those. And just nothing happens with it. Yeah. It's meaningful. I don't know. It's not worth it. Okay.
I'm probably going to end up watching it, though.
Have you gotten into the Child's Play movies?
No. What is that?
Chucky?
Oh. I saw the new one. It came out in like 2018.
Oh, maybe. The remake?
The remake. It was like it wasn't good.
No.
It was really bad. I remember laughing at it.
Yeah. Don't watch the remake.
But the older scary stuff, I've never gotten into horror. I've just always been like action kind of girl.
Yeah, I was raised on like 80s slasher movies.
Yeah.
All through middle school and everything, so I just kind of evolved into it that way. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you want something plot driven? That stuff does exist, but like, it's mostly just entertainment. Like,
yeah. Well, I'll start with Sam Raimi's stuff.
I cannot recommend enough on Sam Raimi's stuff. Everything, it's phenomenal.
Okay, well, speaking of weird movies, have you gotten into what is his name? Logos Lanthimos? Or is it Logo? I don't know. Anyways, the guy who made Poor Things, The Lobster, The Favorite. Have you watched his movies at all?
I've seen The Lobster. Loved it. Poor Things was on my list, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It looks phenomenal.
All his stuff is very weird, and Poor Things
Yeah.
was the first thing I got into, and that movie, of course, it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain this movie. It just was like, it's weird. It's definitely like for a certain person, but you know the concept of it. Like she's a child.
Yes.
In a woman's body.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you watch it. I give it like for plot, like and rewatchability, like for plot and rewatchability. I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
But like for cinematography, directing, acting, all like the filmy stuff, 9 out of 10. Yeah. Like it's beautiful to watch. But his stuff is weird. I like The Lobster better.
I love his weird ass movies, and it's on my list. I like weird movies. Like so I'm very into it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely on there. I'm trying to think. So you said that you tried to get into Blumhouse for horror. Mm-hmm. Have you gotten into any of the A24 stuff?
I've seen Talk to Me. I liked that one.
That one's good.
That one gave story with the horror element. I liked that one. I know they're coming with the part 2. I'm happy about that.
A24.
Oh, they have like the Maxine stuff. I haven't watched those. You know, X and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
It didn't do it for me, but I understand why, people
liked it. Oh, so you've seen all of them?
I saw X.
Okay, because there's like I think there's a 4th one coming out, or it already came out, or something.
Yeah, there was something else. I really like Hereditary.
I've seen that one. Yeah, where the head gets cut off, right? Did I finish that movie? I don't know if I finished it.
If you did, you would know, because there's a lot to talk about that ending.
Because I know she like screams at the table, and then
he catches on fire.
Yeah, no, I didn't finish that.
Okay, that's one of the few, like, I've been watching horror movies all my life, and that's one of the few that's, like, really kind of fucked me up.
Really?
Yeah. Specifically, okay, it's not even, like, a horror scene, but the scene where the mom finds out that the daughter died, that scream was so real.
It was very real, yeah.
That, I left the theater, I had plans after that, and I left, I was just like,
that's like a real scream of a mom that's like loses her child. It's like,
because like you hear that scream in real life. Like the way that she was able to replicate that feeling, it's just like it set the tone for me to be so emotionally uncomfortable for the rest of that movie.
Yeah,
that like every little thing that happened, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm about to put it back on because I don't know why I turned it off. But yeah,
that and Smile are the only two that have
I was gonna ask you about that because a part 2's coming out in October or something like that. Was it good?
Yes.
Is it? Wait, do you think I could watch it? Is it scary?
Yes, it's very. No, as in it is scary. Not that you should watch it.
But would I be able to get through it and like sleep?
Maybe. No. Okay, so. And, I've heard people, like, talk about it a lot, or, like, a lot of, like, movie reviewers read into stuff a lot, and then they're... That one just, for some reason, really scared me.
It scared you? Oh, my gosh. Yes. Okay.
I don't get scared by some things that a lot of people get scared of, but then something that, like, I don't think stuck with anyone will get to me. I'm just weird like that. Okay. But, like, the thing that fucks me up the most about that movie is most of the movie is shot in, like, a super close-up of her face as she's going around in public. So it's like It Follows, if you saw that. Mm. Oh. But you don't see at all what's following her. So, like, it's so close up, she'll turn a corner, and you're just like, oh my God, just show the fucking scene. Yeah. I can't see.
Lurking is what gets me. Like,
when you do see it.
Yeah.
The worst scene in that movie. Or, like, the scene that, like, maybe, like, oh, my God.
Spoil it for me, please.
Okay, all right. So, she's the only person that can see the monster.
Right.
And everyone in her life is telling her she's insane. So, her therapist comes to her house and is like, I got a wellness call on you. Your ex-husband wants me to check on you. Mm-hmm. So, they're sitting down having a therapy session. Mm-hmm. And she's talking to the therapist for, like, 5 minutes. And she gets a call. She picks it up, and it's her therapist.
Oh God!
And her therapist is like is basically like, hey, I just got this call about you, and she's like looks up at the woman she's been talking to for like 10 minutes, and she's like,
oh shit.
Like fucking drooling out of her mouth, staring at her.
Oh my gosh!
Like, oh, get the fuck out!
Get out of there! Yeah. Do you actually ever see the monster, or is it okay?
Yes.
Oh, and your face is like, shit, it's scary.
Yeah. So there's a part. Basically, the monster plays on trauma, and I'm probably just gonna spoil the movie.
Please, I'm gonna watch it because I gotta do a review on part 2. So.
Okay. Trauma is like the theme of the movie,
right?
A lot. Like the monster plays on her own fears, and she witnessed her mother overdose as a child and didn't like stop it. So the monster like puts a lot of imagery into like showing her this, and so to confront the thing, she goes back to her childhood home that's now abandoned. And the monster is there as her mother, and she talks to it for like 10 minutes. And she has this part where she's running out the door. She closes the door. She's like, "Fuck you! Like I'm not taking this." And she closes the door, and the door slowly opens. And where the mother was standing, you just see 2 long fucking legs that are taller than the door. And it like fucking reaches under the door. And it's like a 30-foot version of her mother, and it's fucking just smiling ear to ear.
That is crazy.
It smile like it. At some point during this, it grabs its mouth and just starts like peeling its skin off, and there's like 10 mouths, and they're all smiling under there.
Oh my god!
And it's like 30 feet tall.
Ooh. Okay, just imagining it. That looks cool. That seems cool.
I took my grown ass home and got ice cream after that.
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Like I was just.
Oh
like,
hell yeah!
I need something comfortable.
Ooh, okay. I do need to watch part 1. So now knowing what I'm getting myself into, that can help me get through the movie.
Yeah, it's like I went in being like, oh, it looks like a Blumhouse, like little fun, scary movie, and I left. I was like, I'm not good.
I'm not good. Yeah, put on SpongeBob or something. Yeah.
I don't know, and like it plays on your own paranoia a lot.
Right.
I feel like so. Yeah, I'll never watch it again. It was really good, but I'll never watch it again.
Okay, then last movies with you saying that. My dad had always said he'll never watch The Ring again because that like messed him up.
I love The Ring so much.
Is it like scary, like where you would he watched it when it first came out, like so he was able to and he was like I'm never watching it again.
Yeah. When did that come out?
I don't know. I just know it's old.
Early 2000s. Yeah. I watched it when it was like still kind of hyped up.
Yeah.
It's really good. I love it. It's like it's freaky, but like. I don't think it ever like. Oh my god! I'm never watching this.
Again. Maybe for the times, because he was like he was like I wouldn't watch it again because it would probably ruin it for me. It's probably not as scary as it was back then. But when he first watched it, he was like so I never watched it because I just went off of what he said.
So, I went in expecting like a horror movie, and it's a lot more of like a crime thriller, like an investigation, because like. She knows that this thing is going to kill her in 7 days. She has a limited amount of time. So she spends all that time being like, let's find out what this thing is, where the tape came from, and see if we can like make contact with the spirit that's inside of the VHS tape. And it's really good at making you like kind of want to dig deeper, find out what the fuck this thing is.
Yeah.
And when the horror scenes do happen, it's effective. Because like there's one part she's on the phone with somebody that's like gotten the thing, and you can hear it coming out of the TV, and she's going like, oh my god, run, It's great. I love it.
So you've watched a lot of movies. You've watched. I feel like you definitely watch more movies than me because I'm like, I have my safety net, and I'm like, I just want to stay in this corner, but I gotta venture out.
I had a period of time where I was trying to watch a movie a day, and that fell through. I probably watch. Usually one a week, but I tried to do like 2 or 3 and just see a little bit of everything.
I'm at the 1 a week now because it's just I like being in a theater. It's definitely easier for me to watch a movie in a theater. If I'm here, I'm like I want to be on my phone. I gotta do stuff like Yeah.
So it's like a peace of mind thing for me because I just turn off my phone and I'm like I'm doing nothing else but this. And for once in my day, I can just think only about what I'm looking at.
Yeah. But, what's your favorite genre then?
Ooh. Okay, personal enjoyment, and you'll get a lot of shit for this in like the film community. I really like comic book movies because I really like comic books.
Yeah.
The good ones though. But comic book movies.
That's what everyone says. Every time, like when I was in film school, I'd be like comic book movies, and they're like, oh, like the MCU. Like I'm like, yeah. Like if I enjoy it, there's a reason why they make all this money. I enjoy it. You know.
Well, like the thing is like there are a lot of people that will try and act like it's high art, and it's not. It's just
okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but like I really like those. I love horror movies. Like that's kind of my bread and butter. I don't know. As far as like film, I really like dramas. Like I love pretty much anything Denis Villeneuve has made.
His movies are like, I feel like all his movies are perfect. Like,
there's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Like him. I like comedies, but it has to be done so right for me to actually love it.
When it comes to comedies, personally, I only like the movies that's come out between like 2005 and like before maybe before 2020 or like 2018, like that.
Yeah.
That kind of humor, and then anything after that, I'm like, this isn't funny to me. Like, it just hasn't really hit as much as those like teen tens kind of movies.
So I really like Edgar Wright movies. Like the Cornetto trilogy with like Shaun of the Dead and everything. I like those. Superbad's one of my favorite comedies ever.
Have I seen that one? I don't know.
Oh, you gotta see Superbad.
I don't know. I don't think so. I've seen that one.
It's the one with Michael Cera and Seth. Is it the fat guy who's in all the Jonah Hill? Jonah Hill.
Okay.
It's about them in high school, and this hot girl asks them to buy alcohol for their party, and they're like two nerds.
Yeah.
So they have one night to like go and get alcohol somehow.
Really? Okay.
And they think it's like their one chance to get laid, like ever. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Like they have this like nerdy white kid friend with like the wireframe glasses and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I got us a fake ID. And they read it, and his name was McLovin.
Okay, I've seen that. I've seen like sure those scenes, yeah.
But like, it's just that kind of humor of just like kids trying to. I don't know. It's pretty funny. I really like Sacha Baron Cohen movies.
I don't know.
Borat, Bruno.
Guys, don't. Okay, I feel like everyone's gonna be like, "Dang, she don't watch movies." I do watch movies. Okay. I don't. I've heard of those. Dang. Okay. Yeah.
You gotta watch. They're so funny.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
So, the whole thing with his movies is like they're kind of like prank shows. Like it's almost kind of like Jackass-ish.
Ooh. Okay. I like those kind of things.
He's the only actor in his movies.
Oh, I'll definitely watch that then. I love those kind of movies.
Borat, he dresses up as like a stereotypical like racist depiction of a Middle Eastern guy, and he's going around in like Bush era America in like 2007 or something, just being as like stereotypically like racist for his race as he can be to get reactions out of like white Southerners.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching that.
Or my favorite one is Bruno. He goes around as like a gay fashion model in the American South in like 2005, I think.
Oh, gosh.
In the whole movie, he talks like this. And like,
oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. I just know the reactions were horrible.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He went to like Israel like that in that movie. Like, he walked through the Gaza Strip wearing like short shorts, a skin-tight shirt, and like an Ellen DeGeneres haircut, like strutting around.
Like,
and they record like all these like Middle Eastern people just looking with so much hate.
Oh gosh.
Like, it's funny how he can like do something that can like he's not the comedy. Like he's the stereotypical haha I'm gay.
Right.
But like
it's them. That's
how much hate he can get out of people while doing that.
It's so crazy. It's like it's just a human being. Go on with your day.
Yeah.
Like
my favorite in Borat, he went to a rodeo in like South Texas, and he got yelled at by this old white guy. And he's going like, "You see, I see you walk in, and you look like some kind of terrorist, some kind of Arab." Oh, no. He went, "Maybe if you shave that mustache that you have, you might look like an Italian or something. You wouldn't scare folks around." It's like
that's crazy.
And he gets people to just say this shit.
Insane. It's like, oh my god, do they know they're being filmed? I mean, they have to because they have to like sign the release.
So what he said for that movie is he was like, "I'm from Kazakhstan, and we're doing like a documentary about my life in America." So he's telling people that he's like taking videos of American culture to take back to his people. So he has a camera following him.
Oh wow!
These people think they can just say whatever
they want,
and it's.
Wait, so he had to get sued. There had to be lawsuits on that.
So
yeah, because I would have been like, you misled me, but this is who you are, sir. Like.
So there's this one scene in that movie. So he's in America with his other friend from his country, and that guy's an actor too. So they're kind of like riffing it up the whole time.
Right.
And there's a part, I won't get into the context of it, but they're in their hotel room and they get into a fight, and both of them just got out of the shower. So they're both naked. And they go down to the hotel lobby completely naked, fist fighting. on like a hidden camera.
Oh my gosh.
And they stumbled into the conference room. And they were having like a wounded veterans conference. And these two like naked dudes just fell in there and started fist fighting.
Oh no!
They got sued for an insane amount of money.
Oh yeah, like we're just trying to have a conference. Like we worked so hard, and these guys come in. Oh my gosh,
that's
like, insane, but sounds hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. I like any kind of like quiet part loud kind of thing, where if they can just get people to say insane shit, and just like you just admitted to that on camera that you feel that way.
Like that's gonna in 4K. Like yeah.
It's worth it. Trying to think what other movies. You're asking like main genre kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just genre. My favorite genre will always be superhero, action. Yeah. Everything else.
I really like sci-fi. Like
I think I'm getting into sci-fi. I think that's gonna be my next thing, is like to watch all like the major sci-fi movies.
I'm big into Blade Runner. That's one of my favorites of all time.
Oh my gosh, can I be honest? I couldn't get through that movie.
You didn't like it?
I'm so sorry, because I know a lot of people like that. I had to watch that for an assignment, and I was like,
it's a slow burn for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't do the slow burn.
It's like a 50s detective kind of movie, but just in space or like the future. I get that. I'm really big into fantasy. Like
fantasy is harder than sci-fi, because I'm like, I have to learn a whole new language, or not learn language, but like all these terms. Like yeah.
Fantasy in film has not been phenomenal, other than like Lord of the Rings, which is, like,
which are very long. Yeah,
but it's kind of hit or miss, because I feel like after Lord of the Rings happened, everyone that gets a chance at a fantasy IP is like, this is my chance to make the next Lord of the Rings, instead of
just make your own thing.
Yeah. Game of Thrones was good for a while.
Game of Thrones, that's a good one. Everyone says that's a good one. Haven't gone into it either. I promise you, I'll watch stuff, guys. I watched stuff that came out between 2020 and now. Okay, no, but no, I haven't watched Game of Thrones yet. I've seen like a few episodes of it, and I know I have to get through season 1 for it to be good. That's what everyone always tells me.
I think you said that you couldn't get through like the first couple episodes.
Yeah, so
fair enough. They move pretty slowly at the beginning. Like it took me a little. Like I was enjoying it obviously, but I was like, is this it? Is this what everybody loves?
I think it's like when it comes to like when I sit down and watch something, especially if I'm at home, I'm like, I want something that's funny, that I can turn my brain off, kind of stuff. So like when I'm like, I have to think, no. Like
yeah, I feel that way too sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I like to think in movies, but I have to be in the mood for it, which is like the main reason why I still kind of defend comic book movies is like,
you just have fun. Yeah.
And like there are times where I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. I can't get past that.
Right.
But no, like I really like the Dark Knight trilogy. There's so much good stuff. Like the stuff everybody likes. Logan, all that.
All the stuff.
All the shit that's already been talked about to death.
I feel like there's not too many bad comic book movies for me. I feel like,
there's some bad ones.
There's not. I'm very forgiving. That's why Jackpot makes me so mad. I am very forgiving for a lot of movies. So I'm like, if I had a good time, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like,
I kind of tapped out of the last couple years of the MCU.
Oh yeah,
like, Phase 4 kind of did it for everyone, but like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like spend my time like I'm gonna go see Ant-Man 3 or the Marvels.
You haven't seen Ant-Man 3?
I didn't want to see it. Nothing about that movie made me want to see it.
Not good. The Marvels is not bad. I like the Marvels actually. I've seen it twice already.
I heard that. The only character out of that lineup that I really care about is Kamala Khan.
Did you see Miss Marvel? Did you like Miss Marvel?
The show?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it? I'm about to say, I'm like, that was really bad. Like, I did not care about Miss Marvel.
I care about Miss Marvel from the comics.
Oh,
I really like her in the comics.
Okay.
And Iman Vellani is great in that role.
Yeah.
She's just kind of gotten shafted with the movie. Like,
the show did not do her well, but the movie, I liked her in the movie a lot better.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
you have to watch it.
I will. I don't really have much interest in it.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, I'd rather just read comics during that time than
watch
a bad comic movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to end it here. We're about to hit an hour. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's close it out. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jack, for coming on. I will definitely want you to come back so we can talk more about movies. Because I think there's Craven coming out, so that's still like something comic book. Is that
I'm gonna
is that
have
the right
a
word?
lot
Craven?
to say about that
Yeah.
movie. I don't think any of it's gonna be good, but yeah, bring me on for a comic book thing. That's kind of my.
So we can get into it. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And down in the comments, let me know what movies you want me to review or any drama to talk about or anything like that. All right. See y'all later. Bye.